Good, y'all. Dr. Trehunna. Now, as long as I've been doing my nutritional thing, and I had people in my DMs, they were like, "Yo, Trey, I would love to lose weight, but my thyroid is low. And hey, Trey, my thyroid is literally inhibiting me from losing weight." Right? So today, what we're gonna cover is why your thyroid may not be the main issue why you're not able to lose weight, and how the thyroid actually works. And if you do have a thyroid issue, how you're able to resolve it. Okay? Now, first things first, in order for you to understand how the thyroid works, you got to understand how it actually, what it does in the human body. Simple. So the thyroid is like a thermostat in the human body, okay? It is located right here. It's like a butterfly-shaped gland, okay? But at the end of the day, your thyroid is not producing any hormones unless these two things happen. Your hypothalamus, which is like the master gland of your body, is the master regulator, okay? Everything has to happen with the hypothalamus. So you know, like in Men in Black, where there was like a dude and they popped his head open, it was like a little alien inside of it. That's like your hypothalamus. Your hypothalamus literally tells the entire body, all the hormonal actions, all the metabolic processes to go, okay? If your hypothalamus is not working, you're dead, literally, okay? It literally tells your body to get hungry, which makes you, the user, go ahead and start getting some food or start seeking for food, okay? All that happens from the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus tells the pituitary gland to, hey, I don't sense a lot of thyroid hormone, so I need you to produce more thyroid stimulating hormone, okay? So your hypothalamus produces thyroid releasing hormone, and it senses to the pituitary gland to produce some thyroid stimulating hormone, okay? Now that thyroid stimulating hormone goes to the thyroid gland, and your thyroid gland, once again, it's kind of like the thermostat for the human body, okay? Every single last cell in the human body has a thyroid receptor, which means what? Every single cell will literally respond to the thyroid hormone, and it literally tells it to speed up the actions, or slow it down. Okay, so if your body's cells is not receiving a lot of thyroid hormone, then what's going to happen is people who are hypothyroided is going to be people who are more fatigued, right? They have a little bit more drier skin, right? They're more depressed. They have indigestion or constipation, etc. Okay, gaining weight, etc. Why? Because their metabolism is not going as fast as it's supposed to be. Now, if you're somebody who's receiving a lot of thyroid hormone, which is hyperthyroidism, these are people that is very jittery. They're always active. They cannot sit down nowhere. They're always losing weight. They have no problems losing weight, which is to some people is a good thing. But they have a little bit more bulging eyes. But they're starting to have like more brittle nails. Hair starts to fall out because they're receiving too much thyroid hormone, okay? So your thyroid is the master regulator for the human body, all right? Now, once your pituitary gland gives your thyroid the signal to produce more thyroid hormone, your thyroid is not going to just naturally produce the active version, okay? What it's going to do is going to produce two different types of thyroid hormone. It's going to be T4 and T3. T4 is the carrier, okay? It's the inactive version of thyroid hormone. T3 is the active version of thyroid hormone, okay? But these two things are converted where? Into your gut and your liver. 80% of your thyroid hormone is converted inside your liver. About the other 20% is converted in your gut. But a lot of people have messed up gut microbiome, which means what? 20% is magically evaporating. It's not getting converted because your gut is not healthy enough to go ahead and convert the T4 into T3, which is the active version, okay? Hence why the average person, or when you do go into the doctors, the average person statistically usually have a slower thyroid, okay? Because they don't have a healthy gut. Simple, all right? Now, with that being said, thyroid hormone, once again, is converted majority of the time to T4 to T3, which is the active version in your liver. Ironically, what also a lot of Americans is going through, a lot of Americans have fatty liver or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which means what? Because you gave your body so many carbohydrates, so much sugar and fructose and ethanol, which is alcohol, your liver is not able to really convert the T4 into T3 because your liver is not doing its job as properly because you're literally bombarding your liver with a whole lot of sugar, a whole lot of BS, okay? So if you're someone who was following the standard American diet, right? which is a whole lot of grains, a whole lot of bread, a whole lot of processed foods, a lot of BS, right? You're not giving your body the right type of nutrients. What's happening is because your body is receiving a whole lot of carbohydrates, what you're gonna do, your body's gonna convert a lot of this sugar. And because you're not doing anything with the sugar, you're not as active, okay? Which is why I tell my clients to earn your carbs. Your body's gonna convert all this extra glucose into fat. Now, once your fat cells starts getting too full, what's gonna happen is your body's gonna start to produce called atopic fat, which means what? We just gotta have this fat stored somewhere, but the fat cells are filled and we're gonna convert more fat from the glucose called de novo lipogenesis, but there's not enough room. We're gonna start putting this where? In your heart, in your muscle, in your liver. And now the average person has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which means what? Your liver is fatty, which means what? It's not able to do its detoxification process as great or as efficiently, and it's not able to convert your T4 to T3. Hence why the number one autoimmune disease in America or in the world right now so happens to be Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And that is due to a whole lot of grains being in your diet. Or to be specific, a whole lot of gluten. All right? So just to give you all a pro tip, if you're somebody that's dealing with a slow thyroid and you know it's a slow thyroid, okay, you got to cut out gluten. Okay, why? Because 9 times out of 10, if you have an autoimmune deficiency, such as rheumatoid arthritis or psoriasis or, once again, Hashimoto's, that means that your body's gut is not the greatest right now, okay? And you need to cut out the things that's literally causing your gut to be permeable, which means that literally foods is literally leaking into your bloodstream now because your gut is not literally holding it in or all the foods anymore. So just so you have an idea of how this works, think about a fence, right? Now, if I try to pass a basketball through a fence, because the way a chain link fence works, you can't pass a basketball through it, right? It's gonna stop it. It's gonna impede that from happening. But if I create a bigger hole in the fence, now I can pass anything I want there. I can pass a basketball, a soccer ball, tennis balls, etc., right? That's what's happening with leaky gut. What's happening is lectin, or gluten to be specific, literally is passing through your gut. Now, this food particles is actually so happens to be in the bloodstream. If it's in the bloodstream, now your body's immune system is gonna see this and be like, hey, we need to go ahead and defend ourselves against these things, and we're gonna go ahead and kill it off, right? But ironically, these lectins, or gluten to be specific, so happens to look like the thyroid hormone. That's called molecular mimicry. So these plant molecules is able to defend itself for you to eat it or continue eating it by making your body attack itself. That is autoimmune deficiency or autoimmune disease, which means self-inflicted, because this outside molecule actually very looks like something in a human body. So now because your body's producing antibodies to this molecule, now your body, once it sees that thyroid hormone, is attacking itself. That's the start to an autoimmune disease. Just like rheumatoid arthritis, if you're having a lot of joint pain, that's because your body is producing antibodies for the synovial fluid that's helping your joints work the way it's supposed to work. That happens through lectins, or you eating a lot of grains, okay? So for the thyroid hormone, it has to be gluten. So once again, if you're somebody who has a slow thyroid, okay, or is having Hashimoto's, it is not meat. It is literally you're eating too much gluten and you need to repair your gut. So here are the 4 things I need you to do if you're somebody who's dealing with thyroid issues, okay? You need to, once again, cut out gluten. You cannot have gluten anymore, okay? 9 times out of 10, if you have an autoimmune disease, that means you was already dealing with something else, which could be celiac disease. You just was totally unaware of it, okay? And if you have celiac disease, that means you're not supposed to be eating gluten in the first place. So some people are gluten and grain sensitive, okay? Some people are dairy sensitive. So that's another thing you might want to pay attention to. You need to cut out the gluten. You might need to cut out some dairies, okay? Some people are they don't do well with dairy. All right, that's why you see a lot of lactose intolerant people. All right, but here are the 4 things that you also need to start incorporating into your diet. It would be selenium, sometimes iodine, okay, depending on the case, but magnesium and zinc. These are the 4 things you need to start incorporating into your diet. And last but not least, vitamin D. Ironically, majority of people who are dealing with autoimmune deficiencies so happen to be deficient in vitamin D, which means what? You're not being active. You're not getting sunlight. So what you need to do is, if it's a good day outside and it feels hot outside and it's not raining, stop going on a treadmill, take your ass outside, go for a walk. Because that literally supports your immune system. All right. So you need some vitamin D. 9 times out of 10, once again, if you have an autoimmune disease, you most likely are vitamin D deficient. It's literally like a direct correlation. So go outside, get some vitamin D, okay? And once again, if you are somebody who is dealing with a slow thyroid or even hyperthyroidism, you need to cut out gluten. You need to cut out grains, okay? The human body wasn't made to have a whole lot of grains, but because we live in America, that is a staple in our diet, all right? Last but not least, if you're somebody who's dealing with or really feel like there's something wrong with your thyroid hormones, what I need you to do is, next time you go into your doctors and get your physical, ask for your a TSH, ask for a free T3, free T4, and reverse T3. Okay? Don't just say, hey doctor, I think something wrong with my thyroid, because what they're gonna do is just check your TSH. That's not gonna give you enough information. You need your free T3, free T4, and reverse T3. That way you have a full idea of what's going on. All right? Last but not least, if something's wrong with your gut, you need to go ahead and fix that, which means what? Once again, cut out the grains, cut out the processed or the highly palatable ultra processed foods, okay? Your sugars, your grains, alcohol, and a whole lot of fruit, the fruit juices, okay? And you need to start taking some probiotics. And you're gonna be good to go. All right. So hopefully y'all learned something today. You having a thyroid problem does not mean that it's gonna be unable for you to lose weight. It's just gonna be a little bit harder, but you can fix this holistically if you know the right information. And that's why I'm letting you know you need to fix your gut. Go ahead and start having some probiotics. You need to fix your nutrition. Join my program. I can go ahead and fix that for you. And last but not least, you need to have more magnesium, zinc, selenium, iodine, and go ahead and start walking and get some vitamin D. Hopefully y'all learned something today. And that's your reset tip of the day. It's going to help you stay snatched all the time. Know this summertime. Talk to y'all soon.